Hello everyone, Russell Wright, Network Empire, and OneFeedSupercharger.com. I'm here with Sue Bell and SEO Master Jimmy Kelley. We are going to be talking about the more advanced parts of OneFeed Supercharger in the next couple of videos. Thanks, Sue. Let's just jump right in.
Excellent. All right, so in the last video, we talked about the fun things that you could do with your own blog. And so in this video, we're going to talk about things that you can do with external feeds. So there's two different aspects to this. One is that you can set this post up here to 0, and you can just have external feeds. In other words, you can use the plugin to braid external feeds only and not have any content from this blog. Or you can use it to braid other feeds in with your blog's feed, with your blog's content, and create a mashup.
No way. Okay, so let me repeat this back for any intermediate or beginners. Are you saying that I can take a feed from like wherever? Let's say I grab my Pinterest feed or I grab my Google Plus feed from another Network Empire product, right, called Google Plus RSS Maker, or wherever. I can take a feed from any blog out there in internet land, right? And
I can take a feed from YouTube.
I can take a feed from YouTube. Oh, there's a YouTube feed right there.
Right here.
Oh, that's perfect. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
And so it's not even part of this blog, and it'll work, and I can... Okay, gotcha.
Right. So I'm going to include 10 posts, or if we want to keep it more reasonable sized, I can do 5 posts from here.
Let me ask you.
5 posts from here.
Let me ask you this: posts to include and posts to include. When it mixes, does it go 5 and 5, or does it intermingle them, or is it 5 on, 5 off? How does that work?
Well,
we're gonna find it. You're gonna show us, right? We'll find it.
You're gonna see.
Okay, excellent.
All right. So I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna hit update to my pre-existing feed.
We're adding that YouTube feed with 5 posts to include.
And I'm gonna come back here where this was what we had in our last video, which is just the content, and we've got 6 posts here. So obviously one of these posts is gonna go bye-bye. And instead we're gonna get some videos.
Wow. Okay, gotcha. And there it is.
All right. So we can get a little crazy.
Let's do it. Let's get crazy.
All right.
Let's have a party up in here.
G plus RSS.
Stop. Pause. This is a Network Empire product, guys, right? I just want everybody watching to know this is another Network Empire product, the only one that we know of that's stable that pulls RSS feeds from your Google Plus personal and or biz page. I just love that. It's one of my favorite apps that we have because it's deceptively powerful.
Indeed it is.
Don't get Jimmy started on this. We'll make another video.
All right, so I'm going to go grab the feed. Should be a copy link. And I'm going to throw that into here. Okay. I'm going to add another feed.
Oh, wow. Just add feed and then we can... Wow, so we can do...
Yeah, let me just make sure that this feed is what I think it is. That it's actually working because I haven't checked this account for a while.
Oh, yeah. Probably. We need to have...
Yep, we're good.
Oh, we're good.
All
Yeah,
right.
Last one was January 30th, so you're still posting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so number of posts to include 5, and I can update that.
Is there a maximum recommended, Sue, you have just as a sidebar? Jimmy or Sue, do you have maximum recommended posts on a feed?
It just depends on what you're going to do with it.
Right, it really does depend. Okay, cool. So they don't have to worry if they've done like 20 or 40.
Only if you're going to push it through Social Explosion.
Oh, yeah.
If it's for sculpting link juice, you want to try and keep that down. For instance, link juice will spread all over.
Right.
You know, so that can deprecate your juice that's spreading the more links that you have. So depending on where you are within your tier structure, you want to make sure that, you know, you're thinking about that as you create these feeds.
Okay. Well, can you give us if you were, Jimmy, can you give us a word on what you would think would be generally good for most places? Like if, when in doubt, do this many. Is there a way to do that, or is that oversimplifying it? Like 20
when
is safe?
When in doubt, 10 to 20, I would say, is pretty safe.
Gotcha.
I mean, you also have to consider, too, like if you're going to take these and start pushing them through syndicate, like RSS syndicators and stuff like that, then, you know, they typically will only show a certain amount as well.
Gotcha.
Some of them, not all of them, but just, you know, keep that in mind that not all feeds will display or take everything that you're giving it to.
Understood.
When you submit. So, you know, 10 to 20 should be a pretty safe range.
Okay.
if you don't want to worry about it.
Yeah, and also remember when Sue was joking about Social Explosion, if you put this feed into Social Explosion, you're going to use up your credits. So if you have 100, it actually parses the entire feed and then schedules massive social links, backlinks, and traffic to those backlinks. So be careful. If you have 100 links on there, we're going to post all of them. We're going to schedule all of them as if we're at war with getting them indexed, parsed, and traffic to them.
And
so
all that stuff we'll get into in more detail on the third video.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I got excited. Anyway.
Okay, I know. It's easy to get excited.
Because we have so many things all connected, you know what I mean, Sue?
Right.
It's like, wow.
So there's one more aspect to the adding external feeds that I want to show you, and that is that you can sculpt the theme of the feed. So in other words, I can put keywords in here. So if we just take a look at this and take a look at some keywords that we've got, like we've got the word Google in here a couple of times. How many times does this show up? 7 times. Oh, but all in that one feed. So let's pick something else. Plugin maybe. That's not in there enough. We can do a couple of keywords. We could do plugin, Google, and maybe tool or something like that.
Oh, so now you're creating the filter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I do plugin, Google, and tool.
Okay.
As though those were 3 keywords that made sense to have together, right?
Well, that's okay. We're giving an example of how the functionality of the plugin.
Right.
But you probably do something within your keyword DNA or all the advanced training that you and Jimmy and I have on this topic, right? And,
right. So and the idea would be like, if let's say you're going to bring several feeds together and you want to create something that's thematically relevant because you're going to put it somewhere else. Like maybe you're going to use it on another blog, or maybe you're going to put it through a specific kind of a feed search engine or something that's geared to a particular topic or something along those lines. So the tighter that you sculpt the theme, the more that it's going to appeal to some people to put on their blogs, right?
Gotcha.
So, and in particular, when you're following what we do with our networks, this becomes incredibly important when you get out to the WR2 and WR3 ring.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to update that with those, and we'll just see how that changes our feed over here. And you can see it got quite a bit shorter. So
wow,
now it's just,
so this filter's on the fly. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been really selective now, right?
Damn, that's cool. So you can filter in real time. I thought for some reason that once it had gone through, we couldn't filter it out. That is not true. Wow, that is actually way cooler than I thought.
Excellent.
You never put everything in the spec, do you?
Never.
Okay, that's cool. All right, cool.
All right, so you can add as many feeds here as you want to, and you can put in as many keywords as you want to, and obviously this can be just one feed, and you can come back and create other feeds that are got different themes or different keywords or have different feeds included into it, different feeds braided together, and the sky is literally the limit.
Got it. Holy mackerel. Okay, so that's is that enough for this video before we get into the advanced features, or do you have more to show?
Well, the only other thing that I'll show is what's coming on the next version. We're going to give you the ability to put in your Google Analytics account, because embedded in this theme, which you can't really see unless you take a look at the source, we've included some UTM information in the link, so you can tell that this is actually coming from the feed called initial test feed. All right, so this information, as you get clicks back through this, you're going to be able to tell that those clicks came from this feed that you created. And so you're going to be able to come in here, put in your Google accounts, your Google Analytics account, and we'll give you information about what that's doing to the traffic on your site.
Yeah, so let's talk to everybody about what that looks like in the real world. What that means is when you log into Google, and later on we'll show you more of this, you log into Google when the advanced one releases, and you go under campaigns, and you'll be able to see, or not even campaigns actually, just referrals, I think, right, Sue? And, and you'll be able to see specifically when you put your feeds into sources on the, for example, the RSS blog submission and blog directories, you'll be able to see if and how much traffic you're getting. And that is really, really cool. And of course, in the systems that we provide and talk about, there are all kinds of layers to that traffic as well. And so, fantastic.
And the other thing that I want to say is a moment ago I showed you that you could include old posts in this feed, and these are the parameters for your old posts. So in other words, let's say that you don't want to go all the way back. For example, the Theme Zoom blog is years and years and years old, and there's a lot of stuff in there that I wouldn't want to have in my feed.
Okay.
So I might just say that I want to have only the last 6 months in here.
Wait, does that have a calendar pops right up?
Yeah.
You also didn't put that in the spec. That's awesome.
You just didn't read the spec very carefully.
I thought maybe it was in the spec. I didn't know this calendar was going to pop up. I thought I was typing the date or something.
So you can put in from dates and to dates, and then you can update your old posts. And
then Bob is indeed your uncle.
Indeed.
Okay, so what happens then is that it goes back and it'll only give me posts
within that time frame.
That is so freaking cool. Damn, you can like carpet bomb a whole era of your genre of your blog post.
Right.
For RSS. Love it.
So now if you want to think about like over the course of the last 6 months, we have, for example, mentioned Skyfall a half a dozen times.
Right.
So I could create an entire feed just around our Skyfall blog posts.
Yep.
Or I could...
Because you could filter by it.
Exactly. You can pick any topic that you want, and you can filter through your blog for that stuff.
Now this gets very, very interesting when you're talking about the different things that are offered and how they all mix together.
Right? Yep. So let me just go into that one kind of an idea here for a second. If I wanted to actually include the blog, this blog, and I wanted to specify by keyword, since there's not a keyword option right up here, what you do is you set this to 0, you come down here and you put your feed, this blog's feed.
Yeah,
right?
the blog that you're on, the blog that OneFeed Supercharger is on.
I would put this in here. /feed. And I would include so many posts, and then I can do Skyfall, and then that'll give me
anything with Skyfall
those
in it.
feeds with Skyfall.
Okay, so we have a quick addendum where Sue wants to clarify something on the filtering thing. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, so a minute ago I just talked about how you could take your own feed and you could put it back through the OneFeed Supercharger to do a filter. So like if you wanted to get all of the Skyfall things for the last 6 months, right?
Right, because you posted them on that blog and you wanted to segregate them out as a feed.
Yeah, so you actually have to create a feed that's for that feed.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did was I created this feed, which will be the feed that I use. And that feed's going to have like 20 posts, and 15 of them are going to be old posts, so that I make sure that I get posts back, right, into time. I could make it 19 over here, but I just want to make sure that there might be something recent that we post. So I set it up like that, and so then that's going to create this feed. And when I hit update, it's going to give me the feed ID. So I grab this feed ID, which is 449. I'm going to copy that link location, and then I create a new feed. And in this case, I already created it.
Now wait a second. How did you get that feed ID? That was a little weird.
Sorry.
Going a little bit too fast there.
There's actually a better place where you can get it. If I come here to all feeds.
And you look at the feed itself.
Yeah, you just look over here at the
but you were being tricky and you right-clicked on it, right?
I did.
Okay, that's all right.
But I'm still going to right-click on it, right?
Yeah.
And say, copy this link location.
Oh, okay.
So,
good.
So now I'm going to go into the feed that is actually going to be the thing that I use.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my keyword in here, which would be Skyfall, except this site's about coffee, so I used coffee. And then I paste my OneFeed Supercharger feed in here. Make sure that you put posts in here, because I just spent a couple minutes trying to figure that one out. So make sure you increment that to a certain number of posts. And then when you hit update and you take a look at the feed, it's going to be what you want it to be. It's just going to have, in this case, it's just going to have
coffee.
The items with coffee in it.
Yeah, because you didn't actually change this to Skyfall. You changed it to coffee.
Right.
So it's called, because we don't really have Skyfall articles on
this particular
blog.
blog.
But an example that would be an example of how I would use that on Network Empire News to create a feed for the audience and or for submission for the topic of Skyfall. If I really wanted to target that that would be interesting, because I can really target that as a keyword then, can't I?
Exactly.
So if you've got a keyword you know is converting and you've used the last keyword tool or Kraken or any of our other keyword tools, you've done that research, you can really collect everything you've ever done in that blog for that and then run it through some of the evil methods that we've shown in the DAS and all that stuff.
And the methods that we're going to talk about in the next video.
In the next video. All right. Thank you so much for clearing that up for us.
Thanks, Russ.
Bye-bye.